fam. That's like Junior. You know what I mean? That's like the new generation kind of. That's like Rusty's Army and Bangkok fam. I like them a
Oh,
lot.
well,
They better than
I'm not
Yeah.
even.
second generation Wu.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
They,
I gotta
I
tap
don't
in
really
with them.
listen to them, but all right, let's go.
Yeah, peace. Welcome to Spears and Mike's Hip Hop Culture, Knowledge, the Streets. Today we're gonna talk about the 28th anniversary of Wu-Tang Forever. Um, yeah, man, 28 years. That went by really fast, real fast. You know what I'm saying? Normally we do the 25 or the 30, but you know what? This album's definitely worth talking about. 28 years. Um, what do y'all think?
Um, it's their best selling album, but everyone knows Enter the 36 Chambers is their best album. Um, to me, and I'm a Wu.
It's a lot shorter. It's a lot smaller though. Like it's a
Yeah,
smaller sample size.
yeah.
Wu Tang. Enter the 36 Chambers is almost flawless to a degree. It's
not,
almost a. I don't think there's no skips on the album, but
there's,
No.
there's highs and lows. Like there's joints that of course stand out. But I don't think there's no skips on. And this
there's
Wu Tang
other low.
Forever got a couple, maybe a couple of skips. Like me
Mm.
personally, a couple joints. I know I discussed it
Mm.
with y'all earlier. Like a couple joints I don't like on here, but that's gonna come with the turf when you got
Yeah, when you got a
27
double album.
songs, double album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to record a double album and have like a flawless masterpiece, like no skips. You know what I mean?
That's
Be-
my
be-
album though. That's
Before,
my
before,
joint.
before, because I definitely want to know what joints you guys would skip though. Because I only would skip the black shampoo with you guys. Other
Black
than that,
shampoo is black shampoo. And what's the joint that I said earlier? What that I didn't like
You
too
said
much?
Deadly Melody. You don't like Deadly Melody.
Yeah, I
that's
don't
And
like
crazy.
that too much.
you don't
Why?
like Dirty on as high as Wu Tang gets. That's what
You
you
don't.
Yeah,
said. You don't
yo,
like Dirty
and
on
P,
there.
I didn't tell this to you because I was talking to Watt on the joint earlier. I'm gonna be real, like I love Dirty. Dirty's one of my favorite Wu Tang members. Like 30 Return to the 36 Chamber is like one of my it's one of my favorite like Wu Tang albums. But like I don't know what it was. Like I guess, I'm talking right now as an almost 45-year-old man. When I listen to Dirty, a lot of times it's like cringe, like his foul language, it sounds ignorant, like too ignorant. And I know that's his persona, like the old dirty
Mm.
bastard and all that. Like I get that, you know what I'm saying? But like listening to him, like unnecessarily curse or talk ignorantly or foolish at the start of a song and then get on a song and not say nothing when dudes is dropping darts and dumping, like I don't know, like I can't tolerate it no more. Like I feel there's a lot of joints on here where like once Dirty got on it, that shit made me not even want to hear it. Be real with you.
What about
And I
you
say
don't
that
like his solo
respectfully.
joint on there?
Which is a solo joint again
Dog
on
shit.
here. No. Nope. Never liked it.
Oh wow.
Never
Oh
liked it.
wow.
Never
Oh,
like, and
Wow.
I'm serious. Like I think Return to the 36 Chambers, I'll put it right after like maybe, like I would go
So
like
you don't
solo.
like that. You don't
Uh
like that, but you like Return of the 36 Chambers, which is very
it's
raunchy and
yeah, but
very
like
cringe
it
to your
I would
standard.
I wouldn't say it's raunchy and cringe. It is to a degree, but like I don't know, the flow of it was like different. Like I guess like you know what it is? It's you're getting a whole album with Old Dirty, right? So you know what to expect. You're preparing for it, so it doesn't hit you. It doesn't stick out and not mesh with the rest of the artists. Like here on Wu Tang Forever, Brothers was really putting together like verses that were like incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy high level production with high lyrics, like good lyrics. Like, and I feel like Dirty was on there just talking a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And I don't want to disrespect Dirty, like, or fans of his, or you know what I'm saying, but like I feel like, man, like honestly, it would have been a little bit better leaving them off certain joints. You know what I mean?
Indian to soul, Manhattan to the white man. My
That
grandfather
was, yeah, I
came
like that.
home
That
to
was
get.
cool.
Oh,
That was
Hold
cool.
on,
You know what I'm
hold on,
saying?
hold on, hold on, because you're gone too far.
right, right. I
Extortion.
was telling them that earlier. I was telling them that earlier.
First, let me say this. In my opinion, 36 Chambers is dope, but Wu Tang Forever is like that's like the highest musically that all of them ever been.
Well, yeah, 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 yeah.
Like 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 36 Chambers, as fire as Method Man was, he said, "Hey, you get off my cloud." He said, "Who be getting down, Flim Flam, Peter Button, and Method Man?" That's insane. That's super
Yeah.
crazy.
But
Think
those
about
are
it.
old rhymes, though. Those are
Those
old
are-
rhymes,
I
though. Remember,
know,
Deck,
I
Deck and them was saying those rhymes were like
know.
they
And
wrote a lot of that stuff when they was
you
14,
get
15,
older.
though.
Right, but that's just one, and that's cool. Then
Right.
the production on 36 Chambers is not touching anything that's
Oh
on Wu
no,
Tang.
no, 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 no. But they had live instruments and all of that on Wu Tang
And,
Forever
and
and all of that.
they brought in the Alkalites, they brought in Deck, they brought in Fourth Disciple.
Right,
Like,
right. True
like
Master.
right. Like I want to say, for heaven's sake, Biggs be chopping up samples and he be making beats. And he told me when he found that sample, there was nothing you could do with it. Like it was impossible to use that sample. And then when I want to, whoever produced that, is it True Master or Fourth Disciple? Which
I
one?
think it's Fourth Disciple. I'm gonna
Right.
double check right now. I got it.
Who,
It
for
I
is.
got the
heaven's
list
sake?
right.
Yeah. He said the way he said
RZA,
you.
It's
RZA
true.
produced
It's
that.
true. Oh, I thought it was true
Nah, RZA's
because remember.
listed.
Oh,
True
and I
True
think it's
Masters
both of
credited
them.
here.
Right, because he
Oh,
said
Um,
because Kappa said RZA and True collide. He
yeah.
said
Okay.
it on the verse. He said RZA and True collide.
But what I'm saying is that was almost like impossible to loop that and put that together and chop it and
Right.
make it come out
right,
something. Big Strike, that was
right.
couldn't do it. That's just one little thing. Like there was really nothing really fucking with Wu Tang after that, and that to me is like the pinnacle. And then with Dirty, like every like Dirty was crazy then, but like every appearance he definitely added to it. And then dog shit's crazy. Like that's a
Nah,
crazy
it is. It is. It
super
is.
fire solo
It
record.
is. It
Dirty
is.
mm.
Dirty's verses was they came off to me, son. We needed more Dirty. Dirty was on the run. Was he on the run then, or he was on the run during the W? But Dirty was all over the
He was
place.
on the run during the W because remember he was locked up. Remember they said free. No, that was Iron Flag. I think he was on the run on the W because he's only on like one song. He's on the MC Conditioner. That's it.
Right, right. But the only skippable song to me is Black Shampoo, and that's not even that bad.
And that's
It's
the
just
end.
yeah, and that's the end.
That's the
Like I
end.
Yeah,
don't,
I'm gonna
I
be
don't
real. I
know,
hate that joint.
even the songs I don't even really listen to, like Projects. That's still a dope song. Um, that solo shit in the city,
Oh, the city is crazy.
crazy. Like,
Fire.
That's
there's,
crazy.
Fire.
there's nothing messing with that album, yo. That album is up, yo.
Nah.
Nah,
Well,
it's an incredible piece of work. It's an incredible
nah,
piece
it
of
is.
work.
And it like me and you was talking, L, it's the second enhanced hip hop CD to
Yeah, let's talk about
Hell
that.
on Earth. Hell on Earth
Right,
had the first because they came Hell on Earth came out before Wu Tang Forever. And then
right.
I remember buying the CD and putting it in the CD-ROM, CD drive, and you can enter the Wu Mansion, and it was an
Hmm.
interactive CD. You can
Yeah,
unlock certain content. You get like a biography of all the members. Certain
yeah.
studio sessions. You could play
Hmm.
songs like
Right.
beats and all of that. And I think they were pretty. I mean, Mobb Deep was the first to do it, but I think Wu was
It was
innovative because I
It
don't
was
think.
really loud. It was a loud thing.
Yeah, right. A
You
loud
know
thing,
what I
right?
mean?
Yeah. Because Hell on Earth had the Keith Murray diss on there.
Right.
Hell on Earth had the
Yeah,
Keith Murray
correct.
joint.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was at the height of that.
What was
yeah.
Keith
Keeper?
Murray and Mobb
No,
Deep was going back and
No,
forth.
Drop a Gem was pop. Drop a
was the
Gem was
Cause,
towards pop. But the
cause,
enhanced CD, you put it in,
right,
and it had the Keith Murray diss on the enhanced
right,
part of the CD. But you
right. Cause
only could listen
Prodigy was
to it,
saying Keith Murray hit him in front of the police or
yeah, in
something
front of the
like that.
police. Yeah, they had an
You know what I'm
issue
saying?
outside of yeah.
If you think, I think like those enhanced cities were kind of like a combat, like when you had like the month of the man and all of that. Def Jam was doing the double disc or the bonus disc
The
with
bonus
those
CD,
extra
yeah,
songs,
with the
and
samplers
then
and all of that.
right, which was to me like I was actually those were, you know, it drove me to want to buy a record to know I was gonna get a bonus
Yeah,
disc with like more songs or like a sneak peek into like other Def Jam artists or whatever. But this
but
was a it was a genius idea, whoever
yeah,
at Loud, probably Steve Rifkin, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Behind that, of course, you know what I'm saying, with the whole Loud. But I definitely bought both. I definitely put them in one of the Aki, the Brother Streets. I put it in his computer at the time, no laptops, desktop. Think you had to have Windows
right,
95 or better.
95,
You know,
right,
something there was like, you know, some type of
97,
yeah, it might have been something like that, Windows 95,
right,
Windows 97 requirement or whatever. I didn't even own a computer at that year,
Word.
97. I didn't get my first computer till 2000 because I was going to college and my mother bought the Gateway computer from like Dell or something like
oh,
that.
that's crazy.
The Gateway, yeah.
Yeah, my
But
uncle
it
had one.
it was genius, you know what I'm saying? Because but the thing is, half the hood probably didn't even have computers at the time, so you had to
Right,
really
right,
find
right.
somebody to pop that in and check the bonus features. But it's dope to, you know what I'm saying? Like when we were kids, right? When we would pop open the album, the first thing we doing is looking at the production credits, who produced what, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
Sometimes the lyrics was in there. I used to really appreciate that too, to really break
mm-hmm.
down the lyrics. And then just, you know, the shout outs were
The
always
shout
big to
outs.
me. Always
Yep.
looked at the shout outs. You know, you remember Enter the 36 Chambers. If y'all remember, that shout out list was crazy. Peace to the
Mm-hmm,
Zulu Nation, blase blah. They naming everybody from the hood,
mm-hmm.
like
All the
everybody.
affiliates, the Wu
Yeah,
affiliate. That's
yeah,
how you knew. That's how
everybody.
you knew who was who.
You
You know.
became familiar with acts that didn't even come out yet. You heard about it, GP the Grain or GP Woo or
Right,
whatever,
right,
like King Just and so on and so forth.
right, right,
You know
right.
what I mean? So
It-
you were
oh,
preparing for the for whatever's coming out.
right. Or forever too. Like when you open the booklet, I remember they had all 9 members. Um, and they had their AKAs on there. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
Because they were the
Raleigh
ones that was
fingers.
right, right,
Right.
right.
All the
Lex
extra names.
Diamonds,
Yeah,
Tony
Johnny
Starks, Hot
Blaze.
Nickels, Johnny Blaze.
Right. The extra
Yeah,
names.
all of them had like at least 4 or 5 AKAs that they,
Yeah,
that they went
monikers.
by. Yeah,
Hmm.
like, I thought that was dope too. And the Triumph video was the first $1 million video.
Right. And
They I remember that night they premiered it on MTV. I
it was a
remember
big deal.
like,
It was a big deal. It was
yeah,
a
it was
big deal.
crazy. I remember like running to the TV and I think it was Carson Daly. Was it Carson Daly? It was Carson Daly that was like,
Might have
yo, we
been,
got a
might have been.
Wu-Tang exclusive.
They dropped it
And
like TRL
yeah,
style
and
or
that
whatever.
they
Like,
had us thinking that the dude on the side of the building was ODB, but ODB was on the run and it was really Papa Wu that we found out years later that it was Papa
mm,
Wu filling in for ODB. That's why
word,
he had like the ninja outfit on the
uh,
side of the building.
word.
You know what I mean? But that
R.I.P.
video was
R.I.P.
dope.
Freedom, aka Papa Wu.
Word. NODB.
Word, both of them brothers
Word,
for
man. But
real.
that 19 when it came out, 97. Yeah. And like we were
1997.
saying off camera, like that album, like kind of like it was the height of them, but it was kind of like the decline in commercial success for them too, because that Rage Against the Machine tour and Summer Jam put them in a bind. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It really put them in a bind and they lost out. And then the radio stopped playing them and then they started dissing the radio. They threw some shots on Forever, but then when the Swarm came out the following year, because the Swarm, I think Who Forever came out June 3rd, I believe, 97. And the Swarm came out July 21st, I think, 1998.
surely. No, you
Right.
sure it wasn't
Yeah.
because the Swarm has 97 mentality though.
Yeah, but
You
that's an
sure it
old
wasn't
song
97?
though. That's an old
Oh,
song.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
an old
first
song.
it came
Um,
out. The Swarm came out in
it came in
98.
'98. Yep, because I remember buying Sons of Man and the Swarm the same day.
Okay, so indeed, yeah, that
Yeah,
both of those were 98
yeah.
then.
So um They threw
But that
shots.
was that was some Sons of Man's actual second album though, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah,
though
yeah, 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 yeah,
even
yeah.
though some thought it was like they first.
I
You know what I'm
mean,
saying? Because
but
when I was at that time, I used to think it was
that's
they
their
first.
first. That's their first official release.
With Shining Star, right? With
Yeah, yeah. The
Wyclef
last shall be
and
first. The last shall be
mhm,
first. Yeah, but they had other stuff.
like an EP type.
Yeah, yeah. They had like because they were basically like two different groups put together. I don't know if a lot of people
Had
knew
a
that.
different look with them early
Yeah,
albums.
because Supreme Court was their producer from Red Hook, but then when they
Okay.
got under the
So is that
Wu,
from? So that's like a Shabazz type of connection
yeah,
there,
yeah, Shabazz and Hellraiser.
right? Because they
Because
both
because
from Red
remember
Hook.
because remember they had Sons of Thunder. Sons of Thunder. I think was Shabazz and Killer Priest, and then they were called The Last Future before Sons of Man.
That's a
Yeah,
fire name.
And 60 Second wasn't a part of them yet.
Mm,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I think Ambassador, which is Seventh Ambassador, which is
yeah.
Hellraiser's brother,
He
was
was
a
in there.
part because I had the Supreme Court version of the Sons of Man album with Valley of Kings and Five Archangels and what's it called? Hotline and Death Be the Penalty and all of that stuff on there. And
mm.
60 Second was only on like two songs. He was only on like two songs, but Zodiac Killer and there was somebody named I think Seventh Ambassador was the Zodiac Killer at the time, and he was like one of the recurring members of
60 Second
the Last
Assassin was
Future.
killed, right?
Nah,
No,
he
he's
Who
still
who was the
alive.
brother? Who's the brother that was killed in out in Arizona or something like that?
But that 12 o'clock in
That
Murdoch
was
heard
oh
of.
from
okay,
Brooklyn
okay,
Zoo, from Brooklyn Zoo,
okay,
from
okay.
Brooklyn Zoo. Yeah, yeah,
Part
yeah, yeah,
itself. I got confused
yeah,
for a second.
60
yeah.
Seconds. Son had just passed away though. He was a
Oh,
good dude.
word.
Oh, rest in peace.
And D-Law from Future Chamber passed away, and his son passed
He
away.
did.
Yeah, D-Law died April something, but they're talking about it now for the past couple of days, and his son died like a day or
That's the
something.
brother that the small little brother that had the locks. Like
Yeah,
Yeah, yo, he always used to add me on
he used to be
Instagram, then
spazzing
delete
on
me.
MySpace and
Then
Facebook back in the day. He
yeah.
used to spaz with like
yeah, I remember he was spazzing on Radar Van. They had him and Radar Van had a wild beef for
yeah,
years.
yeah,
They had a
yeah.
crazy beef, and he would
Oh, that's
add
a
me,
brother.
then
That brother
delete
was
me.
young though.
He would add me and delete me. He a little older than us, though, I think.
Were
Yeah, I think so.
still.
He was in Future Chamber with Papa Wu. He was a part of that.
I never beefed with him, but everybody around me beefed with him at the time. Clef, my son Louis the Fourth. Um,
Yeah, he was strange. He was
Wasn't
a
he beefing with Judah Priest? I feel like he was beefing with
that's what I'm
every
saying.
like Wu
yeah,
Tang.
he was beefing with
Like
everybody. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
he was
was
beefing with
I was
everybody.
doing my own shit, but you know what I
I
mean?
was just waiting for him to mention you so I could jump on him. No bam.
Now I
Yeah,
thought, yo, I don't know what. Like I
just
said, he would add me, delete me, add me, delete me. I was
Were
like, yo, I don't even know. Like, I'm like, yo, what's up
because
with
we
this dude? And I
because he
never
was in the
followed them
Shadow
back
Clan,
either.
and the Shadow Clan was fucking with chamber music. That and then we did
Figured
a
that
diss song, but it never came out
it never
against.
came out though.
Yeah, you wasn't there. You were there.
I was on the song.
You were on the song, right? And
Yeah,
it never came out. But I don't know if they heard about it or not. But for a minute, like what's
Buddha
crazy
might have let him hear it.
what's crazy
mm,
is my son through the low life, Louis the Fourth, I go down there and chill with him 2, 3 times a year, just seen him. He's Lou Struggs from Future Chamber. And
I know
in
who Louis
my
Struggs. I remember Louis Struggs.
I mentioned him in my verse and never met him. I was like, and now that's my son right now, Louis, yo. I know his whole family and all that, but that's just the crazy thing, how shit comes back around. I never fucking really had a problem with D Law, but
I don't think them dudes was nice. I think
that one was
I'm
I
gonna
mean
just keep it real. I listened to the 10th Chamber, Visions of the 10th Chamber Part 2. Because I had Visions of the 10th Chamber Part 1. I bought
that,
that when I
that's fair.
huh? What'd you say?
I said part one is better with the
Yeah, Part 1 is fire. I bought Part 1 when I was in the Navy. Like I picked that up. I didn't even know it was out. I think I might have been in New Orleans or something at the time, and I was in a music store and I went to the hip hop section and I was like, Papa Woo, and then I looked. And then I
Mm,
like looked at the back and I saw like,
Sure, I
it
was,
had meth on there, King Just, Free Murder, Chakrons, and all of them. And I'm like, okay, Buddha Monk. Yeah, it
yeah,
had the Manchus on there, and I'm like, oh, okay, this
mhm.
is dope. And then so I bought it. I'm Wu Tang anything at the time. I was buying everything.
yeah.
Like so I
That's the
bought
real
that.
Secret Chamber. And then
Yeah,
D-Law was at a time, but in the very beginning, Papa Wu like deaded that, but D-Law never really like
let
adhered
it
to.
go.
Yeah, not at all. That's why like right after, like maybe right after the the part two joint, Papa Wu was done with
Yeah,
it. So
part two was kind of like I was looking forward to like more of a United Kingdom kind of thing.
yeah, yeah,
Like with Royal Fam, Brooklyn Zoo, the Brooklyn side of Wu Tang, because everybody knows there's a Staten Island side, and
Mhm.
there's like in the beginning, besides like the West Coast and the Wu South with Cap and all of that, they had it
Mm.
was Staten Island and it was Brooklyn. And the
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn side had the United Kingdom with Royal Fam, Black
Yeah,
Rose Cartel, um,
population.
Population
If I
Click,
recall correctly,
MMO.
wasn't United Kingdom? I know this is probably separate, but wasn't United Kingdom a gang out in Crown Heights,
Absolutely. Yes, it
Flatbush
was.
area? I
Yes, it
think the dude
was.
Tip
Yes, it
Top was
was.
running that shit.
Yep.
Tip
Yep.
Top. Then he wound up
Absolutely.
becoming
Becoming
like a
Crip.
big time
Uh-huh.
Crip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tip Top. I
Absolutely.
remember. Yeah, I
Absolutely.
remember that. Guess no affiliation with one another though, but
They might have been. They might have been somewhere.
right?
I mean,
Who knows? Right?
because they
Yeah,
from that area.
yeah. It's a
They from there. They
possibility.
from a lot of them
It's a
is from
possibility.
Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights. A lot of them,
And
um,
Browns.
in Brownsville, right? They from
And
once you from Brooklyn. If you from Brooklyn, you from all over Brooklyn. Like me, I'm from Queens, but I'm from a specific side of Queens. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like, oh, I'm from over here and from over here. When you from Brooklyn, you done moved around, especially if you in project housing, grew up in project housing, you move from building to building
yeah,
and Brooklyn's a big borough. So, you might be in the east one time, one day, then you
Yeah,
in the Ville, then you in
yeah,
Flatbush, you know what I'm saying? You in Red
yeah.
Hook. Like it's so much like, they be from everywhere. You meet somebody from Brooklyn, like yo, I'm from everywhere in Brooklyn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you got
That's
family
how
like me, I
dudes
got
be.
family all over in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
All over to this day, all over.
Right.
You know what I mean?
speaking
But
Cause
keeping it
yeah,
Brooklyn, keeping it Brooklyn though. Let's get to this. So you really feel boot camp? There's you really feel they're better than Wu Tang, and you think there's an album that's you think there's an album touching Wu Tang Forever in the boot camp catalog?
yeah, I think Enter the Stage like could hold its weight. You know what I mean?
against Wu
Think
Tang
that they.
Forever.
I mean, it's
How
a
many
double
songs is
CD.
on
You
Enter the
can't
Stage?
Enter the Stage probably like 14, 15.
All
You
right, so
know what I
you gotta
mean? But
put
like
that up against Into the
you can't put
36
nothing
Chambers.
against you could only compare another double album to a double album. It's
Yeah,
not
they don't
fair.
have double
You
albums.
know what I mean? Like you got 27 joints on a double album Wu Tang Forever, and 25 of them are fucking fire. So it's
All right.
hard to compete with that. It's basically a flawless release. You know
But
what I mean? And
what about
it wouldn't be fair to
36
boot camp.
Chambers? What about
Um
36 Chambers versus Into the
I
Stage?
will put Enter the Stage is not that much like I will put it neck and neck. And I'm gonna be real with you,
Mm.
like since you talk about like, because I know you've been mentioning like the commercial success. I think Black Moon Enter the Stage got way more burn on MTV and BET and Hot 97 than Wu Tang's first album. I'm gonna be real with you. Aside from Cream, Cream had a tremendous amount of radio support, a tremendous amount of video plays, whatever. But like you take Cream out the mix, like the Mystery of Chess Boxing wasn't getting the same burn as like
The video
you know
was,
what's it called, Buck 'em Down, how many MCs must get this, like those shits was getting a lot of burn. Like
but
Buckshot was
that's
coming with a
not boot
lot of
camp
burn.
though. That's not boot
It's
camp though. We already
yo,
we already
yo, listen,
it's
you
not.
cannot, yo. You cannot say that Black Moon is not boot camp when the leader of boot camp clique is
Yeah.
Buckshot.
All
He's
right.
the
So you
front
can't.
man.
So,
That's like
I'm
saying,
saying
yo,
grave
yeah,
diggers.
RZA's
That's like
RZA's
saying
not
grave
RZA's the
diggers.
known leader. RZA's the known
Yeah,
leader
and
of
he was in
Wu-Tang
grave
Clan.
diggers, and he was
Buckshot
in
is the
grave
known
diggers,
leader. All right, but Buckshot is the known leader of Black Moon.
and
You
Riz
know what
is
I'm
the known
saying?
leader of Wu Tang. But you don't hear me throwing
And
grave diggers albums
who
in there
shaped the
though.
sound? Who shaped the sound of Boot Camp Click? The Beat Miners, right? Like you trying to say
Okay.
like that, like
But are they
Mr.
boot
Wall,
camp
and
members? Are they
they're not
boot
boot
camp
camp
though? All right.
members because
All right.
dudes, the only rappers is boot camp members. Like, you know what I'm saying? Only rappers is
Is it
boot camp
isn't
members.
what's the names? Who's the
Five
other
and
rapper in yeah,
Five FT's in
he's
jail half the time. Like
but
he
he's still
was
a rapper though.
he
He's
wasn't.
still
I
a
don't
rapper.
even. Was he even on the War Zone? Like when he came back out for the War Zone, he wasn't on Enter the Stage really. He got like one joint on there.
But
You know what I
all right,
mean?
but
It's really just
that's
a
like me. That's
solo
like
album
me.
with Buck, really.
That's
You
like
know
me
what I mean?
mentioning grave diggers though, since RZA's in grave diggers.
But it don't change RZA's status in Wu Tang. RZA's the leader of Wu Tang. He's the founder and he's the leader. Buckshot is the
But
leader of
that's
Boot
not a
Camp Click.
but
You know
Black
what I'm
Moon's not
saying?
a
Like,
boot camp album though. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
nah,
saying. It's not a boot
I
camp
would,
album.
I don't think there's many people that would agree with you on that. Like,
You
you
think
know
It's
what I'm
not a
Black
boot
saying?
Moon
camp album.
got a Wu Tang album? That's what you
Like,
saying?
here's the thing, right? I'm sorry, P. What'd you say?
You think
Yo,
you think a Black Moon album is touching a Wu Tang album, the first one?
he said he putting Enter the Stage up
I'm putting it
versus
into the
Enter the
stage
36
parallel. Yeah, I
Chamber.
think I both think they're both on the same level.
You
And
tripping.
As what?
honestly, like tomorrow, if y'all got to go put them back to back and
As
maybe
I'm
give
what?
some
not putting
more
them back to
respect.
back because I listen to both of them, and I'm
Nah, I'm
just
telling you, like, yo, it's you making it seem like these brothers from Wu Tang shot out the rocket and left these brothers in the dust. Nah, Black
they
Moon is a
did.
fine album. Nah, Black Moon is a fine album.
Yeah.
Enter the Stage
Yo,
is a
OKC
that's an
lost.
did they?
I'm seeing text messages that they lost.
Check the score real quick. I'll check it out.
I know they.
I don't think End of the Stage is fucking with that.
It's
I
not,
mean,
Maybe
yo,
but
like,
but it's cool though. I don't
maybe
think the Last Stand is better than Iron Flag. I'm gonna keep it real. Oh yeah,
wasn't sure.
Halliburton. Yeah. They 15-point comeback. They lost. OKC
wow, that's
lost.
crazy. That's crazy.
Um,
Guess the Knicks lost for a reason. Pacers is that good, I
nah,
guess.
they're well put together. They played for 4 quarters, man. 48 minutes. Them dudes play basketball. 48 minutes, man. They never out the game. You gotta like stomp them out.
That's
But
crazy. Stole home court too.
yeah. Um, what I was gonna say, because we talking about Boo Forever. I ain't even going. We could do that for another episode. Put boot camp up again, because I know you've been waiting to do that, and
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna work out. I don't think it's gonna work out for you really
I
well. I don't
mean,
think because Wu Tang is too deep of a.
And is and Buckshot is
It's too much. It's too much of them. It's too many.
what MC compares to Wu Tang?
Buckshot got solo joints that's
Yeah,
like
but you said
better
no.
than some of the Wu releases.
Yo,
Like
you said
Maybe
Buckshot's
chemistry.
recent music wasn't dope. You said you heard it
I agree.
and it was
I'm being
horrible.
yeah.
And it
Well,
was
and I don't want to
horrible.
say I heard an album recently from a few years ago. It was terrible. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that
And
doesn't
you like the
discredit.
RZA and you like the RZA's last joint with Scratch, right? You like
I
that, right?
did. I like
Yeah,
that
that's what,
joint.
all right, all right. So
I
that's what I'm
did.
saying. I know you did. I know you did because we spoke
I
about
did
it.
like it.
I
I
know
did
you
like
did.
it very much.
And,
I thought it
and,
was
and
very
you know,
good.
RZA's in a quiet
And
taste, no bam. It's either you like him or you think he's whack. Like it's
but I'm gonna
no in
tell you,
between. It's no in
I'll tell you
between.
like this:
Well, the Red Black
Smith
now.
and
He's
Wesson, Smith and
he's
Wesson's last few albums are
that's
better
good.
than some of the most of the
It's
like
not
Wu
better than
Tang
Shaolin
releases.
versus Wu Tang. It's not better
That's
than Shaolin
old.
versus Wu
That's
Tang.
old already, yo. That's old
It's not
already.
old. It's in the
That's
past. It's
old.
in the past 10 years. What do you
What's
mean
the
that's old?
what's the album
What's the
before the
last
what's the album before Set the Tone from Ghostface?
Ghostface Killers?
I like
Never,
that album.
yeah.
That's just
His joint with 12 Reasons to Die is better than them Smith and Wesson joints.
that is true.
Ghostface 12 Reason to Die with
The-
Adrian Young and
Yeah,
Apollo Brown
That
right.
is
is
Yeah,
true.
better than
no,
them
those
Smith
are
and
solid.
Wesson joints.
I like those joints. I like those joints.
What MC is fucking with fucking Buckshot, yo, from the Wu Tang? Like, who is he fucking with over there? The RZA? That's the only one I could fake compare him to, and I might give him to the RZA.
He ain't better than Jizza, and Jizza don't even do music. He's touring. He's still touring Liquid Swords.
I ain't never heard nobody say that dudes from the Wu Tang was one of the nicest rappers in New York.
Meth?
Buckshot in the '90s
Cause
was
nobody.
saying Buckshot was saying he was one of the nicest MCs coming out of New York. Period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody ever said that
Method
about
Man.
anybody in Wu Tang. No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Meth
I
is
don't
better
think
than
so.
Buckshot. Meth is
He
better than
is better.
Buckshot.
He is better than Buckshot. He is then now. Method Man has never lost a step. I think, in fact, he's gotten better
Yeah,
somehow. I'm gonna be
I
real with you.
think
I
the
think,
only
yeah, I think he's
person
gotten better.
the only person that's could hold their own now would have been
Rockness,
Sean Price.
Rockness
Rock,
too.
Rock is
Rockness still
still.
putting out solid music
Rock,
too.
Rock is still.
Rockness still putting out
Rock could
solid
rap, but I
music
don't want
too.
to hear what Rock talking about though.
And Rusty Jerks is an official boot camp member.
Oh
Indeed,
And
he
he
yeah,
is.
I like Rusty. I
definitely
like
do this.
Rusty.
Indeed, he is.
Not all of it, but I
I
like
fuck.
Rusty.
Rusty get busy. Rock get busy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you,
Who else? Who
Rock's
else? Everybody else retired. The Ring don't rap.
right. OGC, I don't think putting
Oh,
out
there's
no
no more
music.
OGC.
I mean, they
The
haven't released the album
representatives.
in 25 years. You know what I'm
The
saying? I don't
representatives.
even know what's up with Supreme, Little Rock. You know, I really all of the affiliates. You know, Manslaughter, Doc Holliday, and I don't know what any of these guys are doing. You
And
know what I
don't get
mean?
me
But
wrong, all them dudes is nice. Like I like MFC. Those is my guys, but I
mhm.
just don't think that the Wu brought a different kind of they brought a different kind of dynamic to hip hop, man. And then they went worldwide. They went international
Yeah, but
quick.
yo, but boot camp is international too. Don't get you. You know them brothers
Yeah,
is touring
yeah,
worldwide.
yeah, yeah.
They heavy touring. Just they I'm telling you, I'm sure these brothers have crossed paths on tours. Like, you know what I'm saying? Listen, like they have a strong fan base too.
Yeah.
Maybe they never received like the sales that Wu-Tang had. Wu-Tang definitely crossed over to a different market. Like they but they're like I don't know. It's hard for me to explain it. Like their sales show that they made it, right? They've outsold Boot Camp like every release, but like my thing is like Boot Camp is still like they're the only ones you could even put in that type of stratosphere. Like no one in hip hop, right? Like I know some would say, oh, you could put Ultramagnetic or
No,
Juice
no, no, no,
Crew.
no, 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 no,
There's
no, no,
different
no, no.
groups of MCs or different
Nah,
crews
and
that
that's
you
the
could
only
put.
group comparable to them.
That's what
No,
I'm
that's the
saying. Like,
only. Yeah, nah,
I'm
nah,
not
nah, nah,
saying
nah.
that Boot Camp is maybe as great as Wu Tang. I think to me, I love them both equally. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm a little bit biased towards Boot Camp because I
You
don't
are.
know. To me,
'Cause
like
you from Brooklyn.
yeah, it's that, but and also like I just feel the way them brothers came out with the Tims, the way they were, like I just like their energy, man. Like you know what I'm saying. I love their energy. You know what I mean. And I feel the same way about Boot Camp, Wu Tang, but I don't know what it is, man. Like Black Moon, Steel and Tech from Cocoa Brothers, Smith and Wesson, like them albums really spoke to me. I don't know if it's a Brooklyn thing or whatever, but
It
it
is.
was it spoke to me, you know what I mean?
It is a
Like they
Brooklyn
had me
thing.
wearing Timbs in the summer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, but Wu-Tang Forever, like let's talk about some of the like I think the first week, I think it sold 400,000,
Hmm.
something like that. But I don't know if that
Hmm.
does that mean that they sold 200 and they double it up because it's a double? I think that's how they be doing it.
I don't know.
Or did they sell 400,000 and I think it doubles to eight and
Hey,
change. You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know. I don't know how
Because
that
they double
works,
that. You
but
know that, right? That's how they be doing the double. They'll double whatever you sell. It's double because it's two discs. You know what I mean?
that's
That's how
crazy.
they.
I didn't even
That's
know that.
how. Yeah, it's always been like that. So that's why when you saw Tupac's numbers and you like, wow, like
Oh,
bro had
and
a
Biggie,
wild,
yeah.
right, Biggie with the Life After Death. Any of those albums were they looked inflated the sales because they counted twice. That's what it is.
I feel
Um,
they should have had more videos for Wu Tang Forever.
what was the second video after
It's yours.
Triumph?
It's
It's
yours.
yours, right? And I don't even know if that was the right choice to
And then it was it's yours and slash older guards. Because
I don't think that was a
remember it
hmm
cut to Ghost in the car with Ray. They driving in the
hmm
Benz and like right
hmm
before Ghost verse on It's Yours comes in, they switch to older guards and
right, yeah.
that's how I go. I don't know. I think around that time, nice. I think a better tomorrow could have had a video. I think Little Ghetto Boys might have, but man, I don't
Little
know.
Ghetto Boys would have been fire.
Maybe that wouldn't have translated. Maybe MGM could have been a single because they talking
Yeah.
about being at the fight. Maybe they could have,
hmm
put that together, like them
Yeah,
being
they
at
could
a
have put that
fight.
together like at a Mike Tyson type of joint or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Like, um, nah, but that's my album. I just remember being 15 and like arguing with dudes like Wu Tang is the best, arguing in school with dudes, and these same dudes I used to argue with, you know, over almost 30 years ago. Now you see them and they giving props to Wu, like rocking with
hmm
Ghosts and like, posting songs on their
Right.
IGs or whatever. The commercial stuff, of course, the so-called commercial stuff.
hmm
You know what I mean? But nah, it's an incredible album, man. And I got like countless. I don't even have a favorite song on it. I just like just be one minute. Like when you said today you didn't like Deadly Melody, I was I was listening to Deadly Melody like just like an
Yeah.
hour ago before we got on.
Yeah.
I was listening to. I was like, what Elton? Maybe you only like the beat. Maybe it's probably the beat, but
Yeah.
they was rhyming on there.
No,
They was
I think
rhyming on
the
there.
beat is what turned me off to it.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, probably.
To me, my favorite joint is Hell's Windstaff. I'm not saying that's the best joint, but
That's a
Hell's
fire
Windstaff,
song.
they was wilding on that. I do like It's Yours, but I don't think it's the right single choice to follow
Yeah,
up off of Triumph. Um,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? What is it, For Heaven's Sake?
Having
Is
Sake
that
is
the other
fire.
fire?
I like Cash Rules Scary Hours too.
Yeah,
That
that
that's
joint is
my
all.
joint. That's my joint. I really like that album. And you know what? A lot of people like talk crazy about like after that they kind of like fell off
hmm
collectively. But I like the W. The
Yeah, I
W
like the
got some
W.
joints on
I
there.
thought Iron Flag was good too.
I
Iron
like
Flag
Iron
was
Flag
solid.
too.
Iron
I
Flag
didn't
was
like
solid.
Eight Diagrams was kind of like
Nah, E diagrams, I
uh,
couldn't do it.
I didn't like the song that they got with Erica Badu, The Heart Gently Weeps. I don't know if
Is that the
RZA
joint where they
couldn't
had
clear
like a
the.
RZA sample, like a Beatles sample?
Yeah, I
It
like
was
that song, but I don't think he cleared the Beatles sample, so he used the live band instead. Because I
because that
heard
was
the
like a big,
original song.
yeah. That they were talking about that a lot, that they had the Beatles sample on there, like
Yeah, it
because
was that song. It was that song.
I think they approved of it, like the estate approved of it, and I don't know what went wrong or whatever,
It
but
might have been too late.
I remember that being like a big thing that it was supposed to be cleared. Um,
Yeah. And
and it was
what's
like
funny is Ghost
nobody in
used
hip
that
hop had
same
ever
sample.
nobody in ever hip hop had ever like used like got authorized to use like a something
A Beatle,
like
right,
a Beatles sound, you know what I mean?
right. Yeah, it was that song.
Um, Shout out to Fourth Disciple and True Master for also co-producing. on the
Oh
album.
yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
don't know if you could clarify or add on, but like I saw Inspector Deck listed as like a co-producer
yes.
on
He
quite a
did
few
Visions.
joints.
He did
Yeah.
Visions. He did
He's credited with a few joints on here. I don't know if it's
yeah,
accurate, but
yeah,
like
yeah. No,
there's
no, it
about
is.
six,
It
seven
is.
joints where it
What's
shows
crazy
RZA
is
and Inspector Deck
what's
on
crazy.
there.
I know for a fact he did Visions. I know for a fact he did that. But I was listening to a Deck interview and he was talking about the RZA's Flood. And
Mm,
like he was talking about how he had to put his album together quick. So
mm,
he forced himself to make beats. He taught himself how to make beats, and that's how it started. And that's how he got on Wu Tang Forever
mm,
with beats. Because
mm,
RZA was, they said a lot of people were saying like Wu Tang Forever burnt them out because they locked in and they were so dedicated with like being at the studio and like really going hard putting the album together. So like that's where you have Lord Superb coming out saying he wrote Supreme Clientele and some of
mm.
Bulletproof Wallets and all of that because Ghost was burnt out. They was burnt out from, you know,
Well,
um
look at the run. Look at this all the yo, like you
yeah,
could knock away the whole solo collection. Or there's so much collabs between all of them on those records. Like Raekwon could have easily been a Wu-Tang album. It could have been you know what I'm saying? Like Ghost probably could have been a Wu-Tang album. There's a lot of collabs on
right,
these
right,
albums.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like, and who
Yeah.
knows what was meant for what? I mean,
Right.
some of these joints
Probably
could have been
has
left
some
off, or you know what
throwaways,
I
yeah.
mean? Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick that up. We ain't finished it. I'm gonna pick that up and throw it
Yeah.
on my
Winter
joint.
Wars could have been on a Wu
That
Tang album.
that could
And
have
what's
been
crazy,
a
it's funny you say that too,
could
because
have been a big record for if it was listed as a
right,
Wu-Tang
right, instead
release.
of a Ghostface song. Yo, what's
Yeah.
crazy is on Iron Man, Assassination Day is on Iron Man, but Ghost isn't on the song at all.
Right. So there you go.
You know
That's
what I'm
come
saying?
on.
And I'm like,
How is that supposed to be a ghost record?
why?
He ain't
I'm
even
like,
on
and
it.
I never understood like why he's not on the
I
song.
like that joint too.
I love that. And I love the usual suspects.
The beat is crazy.
Yeah,
Too on
the usual
Assassinate.
suspect skit
RZA
that
was
they
wilding
use.
on that
Yeah,
shit.
he wild on that, and they use that.
RZA was wilding on that.
Yeah, they use that beat on the Wu Tang Hulu series where he was
Mm,
like, "Yo, listen to this," and Ghost was it plays the beat, it plays the
right.
sample, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Yo, that's crazy." He was like, "Yeah, I
I didn't
need
even
that." I'm like,
finish the
"But
series. I got to go back and see the third
oh,
season.
it's crazy."
Um, but I thought it was so well put together, man, and it kind of it definitely brings you back to that time and era. It just
Right,
kind of like makes you think about your childhood when you watching it because you like, yo, I remember the feeling of hearing these records, even
right.
even before Wu Tang with the Prince Rakim and the
And the
Genius and all of
genius,
that,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
hearing all of that and seeing the transformation, like you know what I mean, what ultimately became Wu Tang. Um, it's incredible. I mean, honestly, it really is. It's a I don't think we'll ever see anything like Wu-Tang Clan. I don't think there'll ever be anything like it in hip hop ever again. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Like, brothers coming from like see like Wu came out as the body and then broke off solo. And then Boot Camp is kind of like the opposite. They came solo acts and then they formed the
Him together,
body. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I don't think we'll ever see like I don't think we'll see ever any type of situation where
But
anything like either one of them. But
what's so unique about Wu Tang is like RZA took two projects that were at war that have a long standing beef that's not even too far away from each other. Park Hill and Stapleton projects in Staten Island. He took two. He took brothers from two beefing projects along with his cousins and formed a group and kind of like mended the issue between the projects. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? Like,
fire.
so you know that like that's dope. I mean, I've heard other like so-called affiliates, former affiliates, and like voice their opinion or whatever. But for the most part, that's what it was. Like he mended the project beef, and I'm sure there was still stuff going on behind the scenes because you know one of you God's sons, the one that's actually in second generation Wu, had got shot, and the person that did it, or the person that has something to do with it, or was a part of the shootout, was Ghostface's man.
Now
You know what
that's
I'm
when he was a
saying?
baby though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's when he was a baby. Yeah,
right.
his homegirl was babysitting and pushing him in the
Mm.
stroller, and the dude, there was a shootout, and the dude took him out of the stroller and used him as a shield, and he ended up getting shot. And they say he died twice, and they had to resuscitate him. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And he's fine now. Like, dude is a rapper, he's doing his thing. He's the second generation Wu. And they, him, Meth son, and a couple of, I think, Master Killer's son, Meth daughter,
Surprised Meth daughter
a
Shay ain't
couple of
on
them.
that too. You know what I
Or
mean?
what? She's a part of it.
She's a part of second
She's
generation Wu
about, yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah. She just started performing with them. They be having their own little showcases, shows
Right.
and
With
stuff. They
Dirty
be doing
Son
it.
too.
Yeah, Dirty Son, not young Dirty Bastard, the other
Right,
son,
right,
Weather
right, right,
Park.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
Weather Park. He be
right.
doing this thing. Master Killer's son,
Cause
Pyro,
Young Dirty be performing with Wu, right?
with
He
the
be
clan.
doing the
Right, right,
right. He
right,
be
right.
doing the verses for Old Dirty, which is genius. It's rightful. It's his rightful.
What I
Um,
think is dope. What I think is dope about them. Not to cut you off. What I think is dope. Like I listened because I haven't heard Second Generation Wu's album that they put out. I'm probably gonna listen to it. I just be so consumed with a bunch of other stuff. I forget to listen.
fatherhood,
But
manhood.
yeah. But but I heard an interview with Intel, that's Yugar's son,
Hmm.
and he was talking about like putting how they put it together. Him and Meph's son are first cousins because their mothers are sisters, right? So is of course he's going to get his cousin, but then he started seeking out other members' children. He said it doesn't even matter if whether you rap, you sing, you into fashion, you into accounting, you into whatever. Like you listen to old Wu joints. Wu rolled together as one. I call my brother son because he shine like one. My seeds go with his seeds, marry his seeds. That's how we
Hmm.
keep Wu Tang money all up in the family. And their children are actually doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them. Each of them got like two, three kids. Dirty got a
Right.
bunch of kids. Meth
Right.
got like four.
Right.
Ghost got like four.
It could
Like
easily be over 30 kids.
right,
Like, you know what I'm
right. And
saying?
then and then like the Brooklyn members, like they because RZA is related to Jizza and Dirty, and then they
Right.
cousins like got a whole bunch. They got a whole different joint, like Papa Wu's
Right.
kids, because Papa Wu's related to RZA, Dirty, and Jizza. So
Right.
their kids is in it, and they just
Because
it's like
Papa
a
Wu's kids
whole
is what? Free murder?
Free
And
Murder, Chakrons, and it's somebody else that's his son, but he don't rap. But he's a part,
right.
like, and then they kids and like nephews and all of that. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy. Like their
Wu-Tang
thing
really
is,
is forever. That's
yeah, nah,
basically
it's
what it
crazy.
is.
It's yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it
And
really is
just from the
forever.
just from naming this album Wu Tang Forever, it became a slogan. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You see people
Yeah.
with like during the voting, presidents are temporary, but Wu Tang is
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they made like a real like statement with that, with naming the album that, and
It
it's
it is
28 years later.
it's the most it's the most iconic brand or name probably in hip hop. I was, not to be biased, I would say Zulu will be, obviously just in the
Yeah,
same light or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But that's the origin of hip hop, so they
Right, it's the
you
origin.
gotta, yeah.
But like, it's right there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The Wu-Tang Phoenix, the Zulu Nation Wisdom Face, those two
Mm-hmm.
iconic hip hop
Absolutely.
logos. And family to a degree also. There's a lot of connection between that. Um, but man, it's an incredible. I don't think we'll ever see anything like Wu Tang, and I really wish like a major success to the Seeds that's doing second generation Wu. I hope they keep their foot on the gas. Because if the talent is in the blood, then they're bound for success. You know what I mean? And I know the sound is different, but they're from a different era, a
Right.
different wave. So of course it's gonna represent their era. It's not gonna they're not gonna rhyme to appease like, us old heads that
Hmm.
stuck in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna have a different sound as it should. You know what I mean? Keep it original. And it really could live forever, man. They're the heirs to the throne. So it's only right that they continue. But yeah, man. 28 years Wu-Tang Clan. Um, while we're on here, I wanted to mention it on its own episode, but I wanted to give a shout out to Dr. Dre. A couple weeks ago, I think they had reopened up Compton High School. I think Dr. Dre put in $10 million to like advance the school with new programs, new equipment. They rebuilt the school. So that was a big investment into his community, right? We talk about um, hip hop people not making a difference or making a change. I think, it's pretty admirable to donate $10 million to the community that you're from to upgrade the high school. I think it's putting a lot of opportunities for younger people to flourish. And like we always I'm sure like all of our listeners, we could say like we all went to schools that were outdated. The textbooks were ancient, the desks were ancient, schools run down, budget cuts and all of that. So for somebody to put 10 million, man, that's very beautiful. And I hope that the youth that go to that school could stay focused on their studies and use that as an advantage to elevate themselves to go far and beyond what they were originally aiming for. So shout out to Dr. Dre on that. Um,
Definitely.
us- briefly, I just want to say something about the whole, um, not to continue with Diddy, but for those that know, like on the Mason Cam show, they had that dude, the so-called Punisher, on there, and I thought it was corny. I thought it was a little funny at first, but then I was like, you got to look at it and think that that's probably triggering to some of the survivors and some of the people that may have had experiences with the Punisher. So I think, like
That's a
honestly, like
crazy
Cam,
name.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy name.
Only Punisher I know is Chris Rios
Right,
and Frank Castle.
right, for real, for real. I wouldn't even call no other man Punisher. Real shit. Like I think it's kind of funny style to
Mm.
even
Yeah,
address another man as the Punisher. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I thought it was kind of whack, and I'm a big fan of Cam, like as a like hip hop comedian type. I think he's super funny. The brother be having me laughing whenever I see him, but I think that was kind of whack, man. You
Yeah.
know, we gotta have like a little bit more like I don't know what's the word like just a little bit more like care and thought into what we um what we put out as content. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Um,
that's your way of you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I don't think it was no need to interview that
but
man.
yeah, but this is the same guy that got interviewed, what was it, 2020? And he said if they asked him if a serial killer was next door to you, what would you do? Would you call the police? He said he would move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he drew so like I don't expect him to have any type of decorum or any type of, I mean, I don't like Cam too, but I don't expect much.
Excuse me.
When I hear certain things from him and Mace, I'm not shocked. I expect it because this is who they've always been since,
Right. They're not known to
since
be
no, they're
like
not.
brothers that thought provoking or like
Right, right.
you know
I
what I'm
mean, they
saying?
might drop something here and there. He's like, yeah, I'm feeling that. Like, but
Mhm.
it's more jokes than anything. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's more jokes than anything. But yo, not to get off. Well, back on topic. When RZA said, um, you don't even got to go to school, just pick up the Wu Tang Double CD, and you'll get all the education this year. Now, I mean, how'd you feel? Do you want to drop out after that? After you heard
um
that?
Well, I'll be honest,
I wasn't going to school no
that
way, but
that particular year was the only year that I didn't go to summer school, and I was like, I'm glad that I didn't hear that, you know what I'm saying? Because I probably would have dropped
because you
out.
would
It was influential.
have.
It definitely made me think like, nah, maybe I don't need school. This shit is whack because I'm not learning nothing. I don't appreciate it. But yo, that was the one year because I did so bad my freshman year 96. I did so bad I got half a credit for ceramics. That was the
Oh
only
man,
class I passed. So I went to summer school, right? I did whatever I could in summer school 96. And then 97, I had to repeat all them joints from the ninth grade, plus try to grab a couple 10th grade joints. So I was forced to like, I knew in my mind if I didn't do nothing with school, like if I was gonna fail ninth and 10th grade, then that's it. I was gonna
it
drop
was
out.
over. It was
Yeah,
over.
like you can't come back from back-to-back failures. You know what I'm saying? So then 11th grade, I went back, reverted to my old self. So but hearing that, it was definitely like it was something that stood out on the album because in my mind at that time, I was looking at Wu-Tang like they were kind of talking something different, and I was going listening to them for the jewels and also trying to decipher what I didn't know, like the 5% lingo that I wasn't in tune with as a youth. I was trying to decipher all of that, like why these brothers is all calling each other God. What's the culture cipher when I'm listening to, you know what I'm saying? When he said, I just came
36
back from the
chambers.
corner
Yeah.
store and got my culture cipher, God. Like I ain't you talking about a 40-ounce beer, like, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like
right,
I
right,
didn't
right,
know that off the rep, you know what I'm saying? But you have to start to, do the so-called do the knowledge and become in
right.
tune with that type of with the culture or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? It was dope. I thought it was dope. And it definitely spoke to me.
But you listen now, like we were like 15. Well, I was 15 in
Hmm.
97. Um, 36 Enter the 36 Chambers came out in 93. I was 11. Um, you listen now, they wasn't really like rapping about the so-called lessons.
Hmm.
They would throw like slang mixed with 5% lingo and
Hmm.
like dress it up with street stuff. And that's what made it alluring. You know what I'm saying? But they really wasn't like certain people would drop a so-called jewel here and there, but it wasn't really from the lessons. It was like just like I said, the lingo mixed
Right.
with other stuff. It
Right.
wasn't
Yeah.
really like the 120. They might talk about it in a skit or something, but it wasn't
Right. They
really
reference things, but they're not doing the knowledge or dropping
right. It
the
wasn't like
jewels
King's
on there.
Son or Poor Righteous Teachers.
Certainly
Like
not. Yeah,
even
certainly
even
not
even
Wise
like
Intelligent.
right,
Wise
right, right. They
Intelligent was
because they was
breaking. Yeah, he was
really
really they was
even
really
Rakim and Kane and all of them. They wasn't really like implementing like not implementing. They wasn't rapping the lessons in the
right.
music. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It wasn't like that. You just thought they were you knew they were
Maybe
five
Rakim did it
percenters.
on the R maybe a little bit. So I think he
Yeah, I'm
might have
talking
did
about
it on the
early though.
R.
I'm talking about
Right.
early
You
though.
talking about Eric B
Yeah,
and Rakim.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. The
You know what I'm
18th letter,
saying?
yeah, the 18th letter he did.
A
18th letter
little
he
bit. There's a
did.
couple joints on there where he
Yeah,
was going
yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
But
yeah, no,
but
but you're
Wu
absolutely
wasn't
right.
really
They weren't really representing the 5% nation
nah,
of gods of earth like quoting lessons or nothing. It was just a
no, no, no,
lingo.
no,
It
no.
was just a lingo. Um,
Like a
which I
better
think
tomorrow might have been their most conscious song on that
mhm,
album.
yeah,
But
definitely.
it wasn't no lessons in it though.
Right, right, right. It was
It
just
wasn't no
jewels,
lessons in
just
it
in
though. You're
general.
right, right. Just telling you what you should and
Hmm.
shouldn't do. Like you can't party your life away, drink your life away, smoke your life away,
Yeah,
F
yeah.
your
And
life
that was
away.
heavy.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was an incredible message.
yeah. Because your
And I
seeds grow
think
up the same way. That's
yeah,
a
it was
fire.
an incredible message, and I think well, let's say us in particular, right? When you hear
Impossible
that, when
too.
you right, that
Impossible too.
too. When you 17 and you 15 years old, like we were, those are very impressionable years. So you got to think, right? The fan base that was around our age in the mid to late teenage years, young adult years, right? That definitely is influential to hear that. Because right, what are we doing at that time? We're going to house parties, we're going to hooky parties.
Mm-hmm.
We we not going to school. We can care less about
Word.
school. But
Word.
here comes like your favorite artist telling you, this is what you should do. It's dope. It's influential, man. And peace to Wu Tang for putting that out together. Cause like nowadays, I don't think there's nothing really like in comparison. Like people ain't really dropping nothing positive
No.
or
They're telling you
striving
to
to
stay
push
on
you.
dope.
Yeah, like now it's like, everything is telling you to be a hitter, get back, spin the
Hmm.
block, you know what I'm
Be
saying?
on drugs
Spin,
or telling the
yeah,
females
be
to
on
F
drugs.
them and get some money. F
Yeah,
them, get some money. F
yeah,
Negro free and all of that. Hot girl summer. All of the wild stuff. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's 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 crazy. I
At least
never
they
thought,
appeared to care about the Bay. At least Wu Tang appeared to care. Not saying they
right.
really did. I don't know because I don't know them personally. I met a few of them over my life. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I met Ray, Ghost, Meth. Um, who else? Dirty.
Hmm.
Like when I met Dirty, I'm not gonna lie. Like he seemed like he really cared about the children though. Because I was a
That's
kid
what's
when I
up.
met Dirty. I might have been like 13, 14 years old when I met
Mm,
Dirty, and he definitely appeared to care about not only his own children but the children in general. Because
mm,
he stressed like the children really are like the predecessor. You know what I'm saying? I mean the successor to the predecessor. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And you gotta like teach them right, regardless of how his character was.
Hmm.
Like I met him in real life, and he actually spoke to us when I used to sing, and we saw him backstage, and he really took the time out. He could have just said, "Yo, what up?"
Hmm.
and walked past, or he didn't have to say nothing.
Hmm.
He could have walked by, then just like, who these little? I mean, Ghostface did that to us at the Apollo.
Yeah,
Like he saw us
right.
back in the green room, and he asked Ray like, "Yo, who all these little niggas in the green room?"
Mhm.
And kept it moving. But Dirty
Right.
actually took the time out to like, "Yo, who y'all here with?" And we like, "Yo,
Hmm.
we performing with Coolio." And he like, "Oh, word." Like, "Yo, Coolio, my man." Like, he didn't say that. He used foul language, of course, but he was like, "Yo,
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm the like what he said, like, I don't subscribe to this, but he said, I'm y'all the young guards. I'm the older
Hmm.
guard." And he was like, "It's my duty and responsibility to teach y'all and protect y'all." He said that's his duty and responsibility. He ain't have to say that to a bunch
Yeah,
of kids
no,
he
that's
ain't
dope.
know. You know what
That's
I'm
dope.
saying?
That's dope.
And
And that
and
goes
just
a
like
long way.
right. And
That
and
goes a
just
long
like
way.
fast forward to that, when he was on the run, he saved kids from a burning car.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then dipped.
right.
He saved the girl, the
It's like a
two. I think it
burning
was two
car.
kids. I think yeah, it
I
was,
think he lifted a car off a baby too that
yeah,
was pinned
yeah.
underneath the
Not that was
car or
that.
something
That was
like.
that. The car was flipped
Right.
over, and there was kids, and the car
Yeah.
was on fire. And
Whoa.
he took the kids, got them up out of there, made sure
Yeah.
they was good, and then he bounced because he was on the
Whoa.
run. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
like
Nah,
that
it's
that's a
incredible.
commendable act. That's a commendable
Yeah,
act.
it certainly
Act
is.
of selfless act.
And I
You know
think
what I
more
mean?
more people should be like that, like in hip hop, famous people, athletes, like take your time out to the young ones because they're so impressionable and they see y'all in this light. And if you just take a moment out of your time to like drop some jewels or say something positive or encourage them, empower them, like that could go a long way for someone that's lost or needs it, or you know what I mean? Just giving that love to some people don't even get love. Like we assume
Right.
that everybody's always good, but we don't know like what young people are dealing with. They might have parents that are not giving them jewels, giving them love. You know what I'm saying? So if you someone that they look up to, like take that time out with the young ones and nurture them, give them a little something. And for those that are influential in our communities, then it's really same thing for you. I always did my best with the young, even the not even the kids that were not Zulu. Like if I saw you respectful, I was always taking time out to like drop jewels on you, give you a gem here, encourage you here, or when you were wilding out, I would like do my best to try to tell you something to, get on a straight path. because I knew like when people certain youth looked at me, they knew like I was the Zulu king or the chapter leader or whatever. So it was a little bit of respect or whatever admiration based on that. So I knew it was my responsibility to lead to the highest of my ability. You know what I'm saying? And I had to move a certain way as a leader, and I had to talk a certain way, and also act upon it, not just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I had to show them the action. This is how you do it. You know what I mean? So I hope that people were pleased with my interactions, like and the way I led as far as the Zulu goes. People in my community, I strive to keep it tall at all times. You know.
More real quick before we get up out of here. Three joints from the album. Your faves.
Heaven's sake, Hell's Windstaff, and I guess I have to say Triumph. You know what I mean? My three
Yeah, no,
favorites.
Triumph's an
It's
incredible
one of the
song.
best posse cuts in hip hop history. Like you can't, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You can't
yeah,
even like
yeah.
the video, the song, the beat, the lyrics. Nobody. It's a flawless song. It's a
Well,
flawless song.
uh, my three is Deadly Melody, Black
Mm.
Shampoo, and As High as Wu Tang Gets.
Oh man, Black Shampoo. I don't like that joint.
It's like I'm joking, I'm joking. I just did that because you said you
you,
ain't like them.
you fucking with me. I'm
Nah,
like, yo, you trying to
nah,
trigger
my,
me?
nah. My favorite three. Yo, man, I don't know. It varies all the time because I love the album. I think the album is flawless to me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
all the songs, but I think those Winstaff, um, probably Cash Rules and Bells of War. I really like
Bells of
Bells of
War is
War.
fire.
I really
Bells of
like
War is
Bells of
fire.
War. That's my joint.
Solid.
I think Golden Arms came off on that.
Hmm.
He came
Yeah.
off on that. You know what I'm saying? And
There's
people don't
there's
give
not a
him
lot of bad
him his
joints on the
credits.
album.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
very few that what I'm saying. So
yeah.
literally we could go and grab three songs. Most of all of them is incredible. You know what
MGM
I'm
is runner
saying?
up though.
Yeah, it's fire.
MGM is runner up, and
It's
Heaters
fire.
too. Heaters is fire
Heaters is
too.
dope.
Yeah, but
Um,
yeah, man.
what before we go, I see your shirt. It says "Stop being racist." Have you worn that
Oh,
outside? Have you gotten like
I wore it
anybody
all
like
day today.
any interaction, like people like commenting on it or just
Um,
looking at
well, this is
you?
not my first time wearing this shirt. People in
Hmm.
fashion that's into fashion know what it is. It's shirt is from Gallery Department. Um, forgot how did you say the guy's name? Josue. I think he's from LA. Black
Hmm.
guy, black designer.
Hmm.
Um, and I've been had this shirt. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? I wear it. I only had one person say something to me, a Caucasian person,
Hmm.
and they just was like, "Yo, I like your shirt." I was like, "Thank you," and that was it. I
Right.
mean, people look like I don't
Yeah.
care. I wear what I want. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I wear what I want, and it's just like I said, like I told you the other day, me and my wife was watching Do the Right Thing, and everybody probably seen that movie. Like I know I've seen it
Hmm.
over countless times, and we were
Right.
just laughing at racism and prejudice, how funny it is. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Hmm.
stereotypes people come up with, and then I was
Hmm.
discussing with some coworkers who are also my friends. We were talking about it, and we was just like, "Yo, like a certain community or a certain ethnic background would get ridiculed and bullied because of, like where they're from, how they look or whatever, or their culture, and they'll get picked on until the next group comes along, and then they're getting picked on, and then the people that was getting picked on joins in on the new people getting picked on, and you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that it's kind of crazy, man. It's weird. It's ignorant.
Yeah.
It's a race is a social construct anyway, and that's a whole nother
Hmm.
story for another episode or whatever. But as far as the t-shirt go, ain't nobody really never said anything. They might have looked, but I really don't be paying people attention when I'm out and about. I mean, I'm aware of my surroundings, but I don't like. I'm not looking like coming outside as like a billboard or a poster. I like the shirt.
Right,
I bought it.
right.
Pretty good cotton, pretty good quality.
You
And
think
I mean,
you think if the brother that got jumped at that bikers club Pike, you think you think if he was wearing that, they would have still washed him, or we think it would have been a different
well,
outcome?
yo, I don't even know what he was doing in there. He had a
Right.
reflector vest on, like construction reflector vest. I don't know if he
So he
stopped there
might
to
have
get a
been like
drink after work, or I don't know
passing
if he was
through.
working in there. Like, I don't know the content of like the video starts with them arguing. So I don't know like what happened prior to that.
Some
Like
say that he didn't pay his tab. I don't know if that's BS or not. I mean, anything's possible, right? People
people
try
say
to skip
whatever.
out on
I need to
tabs.
know. I need to
People
know.
try to justify things,
Right.
you
I
know what I'm
need to know
saying?
what
But
happened beforehand. I need to know what happened beforehand to say whether or not he deserved to get hands and feet put on him. Because,
yeah.
like I said, I was in the military. I was stationed in the South for a period of time. I remember I was in Pascagoula, Mississippi. That sound racist. You know what I
Well,
mean? And we would go to the mall and they act like they never saw a black person before. I remember I went in the mall in Pascagoula Mall, and it was one floor. I went in Foot Locker to buy some sneakers. They looking at me like, and this is before debit. This is before debit and tap and all of that. So I'm walking around with cash, and they see me pull out the cash, and it's just like they looking at me like, "What you doing with all this money?" And like, you know what I'm saying? And like,
looking at
I'm
you
like,
like
yo, let
you
me
you
get
got it
these
from a ill
from
ill ill
whatever.
means, right?
I
Ill
don't know.
means.
Like, they just looking at me. I'm like, yo, let me get those size 11. Might have been some Jordans, might have been some Air Max or whatever. And they just looking at me like, I can't believe you in here. But two, like you in here and you're buying something. You're not trying to steal. So, and then we've been to clubs where like we've been to clubs and they be playing country music in there. And then they see us come in and they try to break out the most current hip hop record. You know what I mean? And
That's
like, nah,
crazy.
for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was a spot down there called Thunder. So whoever listening that served with me or whoever served and was stationed in Pascagoula, they know about this club called Thunders, and it's basically a country bar. And they was
That's
playing
funny because
like this is real like line dancing and all of that in there. Achy
that's funny
breaky
because
heart type stuff.
when me and P is from out in Huntington, Long Island, what's it called? Thunder is a gay club, and it's
Oh,
very
that's
like
crazy.
is very famous. And no lie, one time, Cool Herc, they had a straight night. Cool Herc did a jam there, and
That's
Mad
crazy.
Zulus mobbed up and went to that shit. And we felt so weird going to that club, you know what I'm saying? Because we like, yo, it's one day, a month that they do a straight joint there. So just for the fact that we mobbed up and Cool Herc was on the mic shouting out Zulu Nation because he synced us or whatever, you know what I mean? We was all with the beads, medallions on.
Right,
So
right,
it was
right.
just a weird, you know what I mean, thing. Um, but they shut that spot down. Um, but yeah, man, Wu Tang forever, man. Salute to the RZA, salute to all the Wu Tang members, salute to Loud Records, Steve Rifkin, or everybody that had a hand in making that masterpiece come
Word.
out. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, man. Thank you from a true hip hop fan, hip hop culture, hip hop head, whatever you want to say it. Like that was an incredible piece, man. Timeless. I think it'll be bumped by true hip hop heads for generations to come. You know what I mean? Like it'll be a legit, like it's already almost 30 years. So imagine like it's like an oldie already, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
just like our parents were listening to Motown or classic salsa or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like it's oldies already basically for us. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Keep it tuned to Spears and Mics. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe, hit that like, man. Peace to the Zulus, peace to all the chapters. Peace to the brothers and sisters that's keeping it tall, man. Peace to everybody that's promoting true hip hop culture. Peace to everybody that's shaping youth, spending time with youth. Shout out to the people that's healing people, helping people. You know what I mean? People that's living a positive lifestyle, man. Salute. Peace.
More peace.